What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got Big Bad Lachie on the show. Lachie, how are you?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Hippo. It's been a long-awaited appearance. I've been receiving some feedback. I've been sharing some spirited opinions, so it's good to be here.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about your rank, your trades, how the team's sitting right now.
So my team was off to an absolute flyer. I was top 0%, top 1% for like the first sort of 5 to 6 weeks of the season. Sitting pretty in terms of injuries, avoided most of the main traps and sort of injury-riddled blokes. Obviously, still had a few like Doherty and I had Ridley. I had a few like guys that were just like but in recent times, I've made a few decisions that have, well, certainly this week have led to my downfall. I've dropped about 2,500 to 3,000 ranks this week. I had the opportunity to bring in either Atkins, Humphrey, or Zach Merritt, Sam Walsh a couple of weeks ago, and I brought in Noah Anderson, or Nando as I call him, and then went a week early on Drury. And since then, Noah Anderson's averaging about 75, and Drury has put together the two worst weeks I think I've ever seen on the bench. I feel sorry for him. He's got a terrible role in a struggling team, so it's not really his fault. But geez, for my cash gen, it's not ideal. So I'm sitting at about 4,500 overall rank at the moment, somewhere around that mark. So look, I'm still in the hunt, but yes, far from ideal.
Yeah, I think that's probably like, I think you're sorry, what rank were you again?
I think I'm like 4,500, somewhere around there.
Oh, you came up so that the people who are watching can have a squeeze. Yeah, so 4.4k.
What am I? 4.4?
4,467. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So about
But yeah, far off. I think only a couple of 100 points off the top 1k.
Yeah, so this week killed me. Obviously, with your monster score, I think I only scored 2,386 this week. So
yeah, that's exactly what he scored.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's which was like top 20% or something like that. But just like there was some I feel like the top 5% of scores this week were like a couple of 100 points clear. Like the people that had Zerrett, like Zerrett captain, Butters, VC, like these guys that were just sort of like a class above.
Yeah, definitely. So we want to talk about the North rookies. You specifically want to talk about going early on Eddie Ford or a Wardlaw. Do you know much about this Wardlaw kid?
Well, it seems like his job security is it seems like he's almost got the best job security out of all of the rookies. Like he seems to be like he was their number 3 pick. He's had like outstanding, or number 2 or 3. I can't remember which one went first out of him or Sheasel, but he had like outstanding form in the VFL. He's come in, impacted their AFL. Like they've played one of their better performances in a while. Like they've got an interim coach that he's not going to be swinging the axe. Like he's put an 85 out on debut. What's his price? Is he overpriced, or is he like that 130 range?
He's 190, I think. 189.
190, yeah.
So you're paying up.
You're paying up, but he's got the job security. Like I feel like he's not the one to go early on. If the one I want to go early on is Eddie Ford, obviously because of his price. Like he scored 102. Like obviously his stats weren't amazing, but he clearly was efficient. But I feel like he's the one you can afford to go early on, being 102. But then, like, we know what happened to Drury. But I don't know anything about him. It seems like if there's any team for rookies to have job security, it would be North, right?
Well, you would think so. I think the thing with Drury is people, myself included, were going early on him when he scored like a 50. It's so dumb in hindsight. But at least with Ford, he's got 100 in his system as a 123k. Like, surely he's got job security.
That's true. And he's like that one, he's probably going to go up like what? He almost gets up 100k from, like if he averages like 40 for the next 3 weeks, he probably still gets 100k, right? And more.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe 40, 50, which he should do. I don't actually know what he looks like, to be honest. I didn't even see him. I watched that game and I wasn't even paying attention. So your guess is as good as mine about him.
I know. And then the thing with Wardlaw, like obviously I went on Tiackle. I actually traded him because like it was either between him or Oscar Baker, and I'm like, they were pretty similar priced. I'm like, well, fucking is it Tiackle? Tickle? I don't know how to say it. But
you call him Tickle. I think that's what everyone else is calling him.
Tickle. But he then lost his spot, and Lysette, wow, it doesn't look like Doesn't look like Tickle's coming back in with the scores against him. He's been absolutely dominated the 4 weeks he played. But, there's just like, they're going early on these rookies this year. It's just coming back to bite us.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's the thing. Like, I think there's this one guy that's like called, I think it's like Keatling or something. Oh,
Yeah.
Keatling. What's his name? Keatling. Yeah.
Is it Fleeton? There's Fleeton from the Giants.
Fleeton. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's actually on the bubble, but like he's giving you 240s. Like,
I know.
Is he really one you want?
Yeah. So that's the thing. I can't justify going a week early on Wardlaw because of his price. Like if he's got that Atkins, if he's got the Atkins Humphrey like role and scoring capacity, and obviously like he's obviously an elite talent being a top pick, so like he's got the ability.
Yeah.
But like I can't justify going a week early on him at that price. But like these 102K guys, like are we gonna get sucked in again? Like we got sucked into Drury just because like you get that extra 50K like through the downgrade price. Like you can fucking downgrade anyone to him at that price.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So you got Drury, do you?
I've got Drury. I went a week early on him and came back to bite me.
We both did.
My bench. I've got Angwin and Drury on my bench.
What happened with Angwin? Was he subbed out?
I got no idea. No, he wasn't subbed. He just couldn't get near it. He has this wing roll that like I got no idea. He just gets nowhere near it.
Not the Tanner Bruin roll.
Yeah, it is literally the Tanner Bruin roll, except he can't find the footy. And not the Tanner Bruin can, but fuck.
Yeah.
So here's my sort of like thinking from it. Can you? I'm obviously on the road. What's Hawthorn's buy and what's North's buy?
North, I'm pretty sure they have the last one. Hawthorn have the second last one, the round 14.
Okay. So the way I look at it is like, if you like, I feel like everyone's gonna have Mitchell, Weddle, Drury probably still, like Wardlaw and this Eddie Ford guy. Plus, like I've got Sheasel, I don't have Zeeble, but a lot of people have Sheasel and Zeeble, and then a lot of people have Day or Sicily. Like, it feels like North rookies and Hawthorn rookies are all that we've got that are like playing and somewhat active scoring wise at the moment. Like, is that going to cook us through the bye weeks?
Yeah, probably will, to be honest. Like, I think we're all going to have a struggle somewhat in the bye weeks, and people might get dropped. Primos might get injured. And if that happens, then we're completely screwed. So, yeah, I think you're probably right.
Like, I know you've avoided the Clary one, and we'll touch on that in a little bit, but it's like, like, ideally, I'd love to hold him through the bye, but am I going to have to field a fucking Brian Angwin or something and cop a 20?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, we have to field like Drury, Sharp, fucking Angwin. Owen Davies going to have to be one of our better rookies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the thing, actually. Like, is it even worth tanking a buy round completely and just like stacking up on the other ones? I think it's probably too late to plan for that, but that might end up being the better strat.
It could be. I know me and you are playing for ranks, but like if you're playing purely for league, I know we're in a couple of cash leagues, like that almost would be a strategy.
Yeah, definitely. So I think I'm sort of on the same boat as you. Like, there's definitely risk going with these North rookies. I think if you're going to go early, Ford's got the better break even, but I think Wardlaw might have better job security, and he did have 65% CBAs, which I do like.
I agree. Wardlaw's got the job security and he has the role. I just can't justify going a week early on a 190K player.
Yeah. What do you think about Weddle? Do you think he's worth bringing in? I know you have him, or Humphrey as well, but both of them are still in consideration.
Weddle, I watched that game. I went to Pies Blue, so I watched the first half of that game thoroughly. Mate, Weddle's first quarter was as good as anyone's I've seen this year. He kicked two and had 9 disposals, and 7 of them were intercept disposals. His ball use is a little bit skeptical, but it's not like he's just bombing it. It's like he's trying to rip kicks that he tries to rip off 45s almost.
He's trying to do the Bailey Dale.
Similar to that. But he's got the ability, and like his intercept stuff is elite. And now that like I know they played West Coast, and that like a lot of people aren't judging that game as like a legitimate sample size to look at because like they played West Coast. But even the week before, like his second half was good, and now he's starting to like really settle into that back line with Seamus Mitchell as well. So he's got the role and he's got the ability. Whether he can do it against like really good sides, because like Hawthorn had a lot of that. You know when they play on the half back line and they do like heaps of those fat side switches and stuff like that.
Yeah, they love a chip around the back line.
You're going to get that against West Coast. You're not going to get that against like top sides. And I haven't looked at Hawthorn's draw, but I feel like you've almost missed the bubble on him, especially with a 114. Like, I mean, his break even's still super low, but it's tough. Like Humphrey, as much as I love Humphrey, and he had CBAs in like when Gold Coast were coming back, they had him in the centre bounce. So he's obviously like got the role, but I just can't justify bringing him in at that price.
Yeah, no, fair call. I actually didn't see the Gold Coast game, so I didn't even know he had CBAs, to be honest. That's insane.
Yeah. The Q Clash was, you would have been on Zerrett watch because you had the Golden C on him, but I was on Noah Anderson watch, and let me just say, the TV remote nearly went through the screen.
I don't blame you. Like, when you go with those potty primos that are 600k, they have to hit, otherwise it's just shambles.
Oh, I know. And that's fine, mate. That's, I could open a can of worms, but the subscribers don't need to go through that. What they do need to hear, though, is they almost need a public apology, because I watched a video where you've included Humphrey in your traps of the week, and then he's gone out and absolutely dominated.
Yep, no, I did do that. I think I said in a couple of I think I did like a video every day last week. Don't know why, but I think I said in my last two videos I was going to bring him in, and it was only because of that bye round. That was literally the only reason. I was like, I need some cover from there. He's got the go-to bye with Geelong, so I was like, fuck it, I'll bring him in. But then again, I should have brought in Atkins based on that logic, but missed him as well. So
it seems
can't get them all, I guess.
It seems like you couldn't have gone wrong with Atkins or Humphrey, because both of them are making cash now.
I know.
But yeah, I've clearly got the wrong Gold Coast guy. I shouldn't have just brought in Humphrey. He's got the Noah Anderson role, and he's scoring more than him.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, I think the thing that like sort of turned me with Humphrey as well is like I think he was a high pick, wasn't he?
I think he was. Yeah, he was a high pick.
Yeah, I like sort of backing in those high draft picks because like they've obviously got a shit ton of skill, so there's upside there.
Yeah.
Whereas like your mature ages, it's like they can sometimes just be shit. Like Sincotta's had one bad game and bang, he's dropped. Like I feel like Humphrey, they'll put some like time into him, like developing him.
I agree, but he had a negative. I think he was the sub or he got subbed off. He had a -3 in his system, which like me and Ben were looking at that and we were just like, nah, like you can't justify bringing this guy in with that track record.
Yeah. No, I when I saw that, I was like, fuck, I'm just going to choose not to say that when I brought him in because, yeah, I didn't like that one bit. But I think, like, I saw some analysis on his heat map, and basically he's actually moved up the ground. He was playing deep forward. So that was, that made a lot of sense to me. But anyway, let's talk about Clayton Oliver. I know you have him. I do not. And I did see that 91% stat. Where he's in 91% of the top 1K or top 1%. So that's
top
literally who I'm chasing.
Yeah, 2,100 teams. I think there's about 210,000 players this year. So that's a crazy stat. And you have done like how you've managed that, like bringing in Rory Laird, who has frustrated me all year, to then have him pump a 145 down at Ballarat, and you've avoided Clary, who's now got like a 3 to 4 week hammy. That is Supercoach genius, if you ask me. So
it was so close to going the other way though. Like it was like a flip a coin, Humphrey and Laird or Clary and Sharp. So it could have been the end of it.
What was the price difference on Clary to Laird?
Like 50k. Laird was 595 and he break even 140 and he beat it.
Yeah, fuck. That's good by you. I'll give you the kudos where you deserve it. Look, here's my problem with Kalari, and it's like it seems like if there was ever a good time to do a hammy, it's probably now, because like we're about to field 18 aside for the next couple of rounds. But there's just no bench depth to hold him. Like we were looking at our cash down, and it's like Chincotta's been my back line at the moment is Chincotta Constable, who both of them are DMPs, and then my midfield is like either Angwin, Sharp, Baker, or Drury, and it's like, and I've got to field one of them, and it's like, well, fuck, there's not much scoring capacity there.
Yeah.
And then my forward line, I've still got Sam Sturt, and then like Madden is my loop, and then I've got one playing rookie in the forward line, and it's just like the cash gen plus these scores. Like there's a high chance that like Chincotta doesn't come back this week, and like Angwin and Drury get dropped, and it's like, fuck, do you trade? Like, I'm keen to see your advice on what you'd do if you're in my situation.
Yeah, I think like if you're going off like this year, everyone's come back early, and I do feel like this guy is like he's an animal. Like he played the game out, still pumped out of 120. Like if there's one guy that could come back early, I feel like it's Clary. But I mean, 650k on the bench, could you do that? I don't know.
What's their buy? Is it the second week or is it the third week?
It's I don't have any Melbourne players. How can I find this out? AFL.
Just go, which round? Because if he's got his buy, the problem is if he has his buy like 4 weeks in or 5, they're most likely gonna like with the quality and the depth of their team, they're most likely just gonna you know what, we're gonna hold you till after your buy.
Yeah, so he's got that second last one. Yeah, you're right.
So then it probably becomes a 4. Like he'll probably miss 4 games because what are the chances he misses 3, they play him, then they have a bye. Like they're most likely going to be like, nah, we're going to rest you we're going to hold you that extra one, have the bye, so you get the extra week and you come back like $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right there. I think, yeah, he probably does cop that, that 4 weeks from now? So 15 he comes back, around 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, so based on that, I'd probably trade him. The other thing is, like, you're going to have to field shitters anyway. Like, is one extra bot on the field really that big a deal? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know. Hopefully we can get some, like, rookies with scoring capacity and job security, like, and then I think you can get away with it. But if you went the trade route, what would your like tops, let's talk about some mock trades here for Oliver that like long term could work. Because I feel like if you move on from him, you can't really get him back, even though he's going to be like then you're killing 2 trades.
Yeah.
If you were to trade him, what would your number 1 option be?
I've seen a lot of people go on Sicily and Sinclair via DPP.
Yeah, okay.
But like as a mid, I mean, you'd have to say Merritt. But however, with Merritt is the thing with Merritt, he's got West Coast and North 2 times the rest of the season. Everyone knows that. Everyone's all happy and stuff. But West Coast was still tagging Will Day even when they were down by 120 points.
Mate, you don't want to... Seriously, everyone's saying, like, oh, he's got West Coast. No one scores well against West Coast. They tagged Noah Anderson. They tagged Will Day. Like, that number 24, I think his name's...
Xavier O'Neill,
Xavier O'Neill. Yeah. He runs with players. Like, I don't know what their thinking is there, considering they're getting blown out. But it's like... He's shutting down our mids. It's like you don't want your mids to play against, to play West Coast because, like, backmen sure, like backmen are going off against them because you know they're moving the footy with ease, and even forwards. But mids are the Supercoach relevant mids are getting clamped.
Yeah. So Merritt might not be the best pick this week because he does have. You would assume he would go to Merritt, right? Like, there's no one else, I don't think. Especially the game he just played.
Here's my thinking on that, and it was sort of that when I brought in Noah Anderson, it was sort of that week when everyone was considering like it was these sort of fallen primos, or not fallen primos, but primos that were a little bit down on their averages, and like at that 550k mark, and it was like Brayshaw, Steele, Zerrett was there at the time, Mills, who obviously that was fucking brutal if you brought Mills in, but. These guys like Steele looked elite on the weekend. He sort of was back, and then Brayshaw, like I think he's had like a 150, a 90, and then like a 130 now in his last 3. So he seems to be finding some form. And Freo are like out of this hole now, and they're finally starting to play some good footy.
Yep. Brayshaw's the one I'm really tempted by.
Yeah, but then like that's what I was looking at as well. But it's like, is Sarong the number one guy in that team? Like, is Brayshaw still who we get the run with in that team? If someone copped a tag, would they go with Brayshaw or would they go with Sarong?
I think Sarong.
Yeah, okay. If you think Sarong, then I guess Brayshaw is like a really solid pick.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that was the like main thing holding Brayshaw back was like he could not handle tags. So if it is Sarong, like as far as I'm concerned, Sarong's like he's got to be up there. Like if Freo had one more games, he'd be up there for the Brownlow. Like if you actually watch a Freo game, he's just dominant. Like he gets that many clearances and gets outside ball. He does everything, and he's got Darcy, who's number one in the league for hit out to advantage.
Yeah,
to get down to him.
That is what I like about the Freo mids, that Darcy is so dominant within the fit outs. Jeez, it seems like Rowan Marshall could be R1 now. He's in a serious batch of form at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, thank God we held. Did you start him? You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I started him. I started him in English, and I'm pretty sure I'll keep those two unless I have luxury trades at the end.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to trade either of them. They're R1 and R2.
Yeah. Jeez, the other one that like obviously is all the hype at the moment, and he's crucified me in years past when I've stuck fat with him. But Zach Butters is like in rare form at the moment.
Yep, I think the reason I thought about him last week. I'm not going to say I was going to get him, but I did think about him last week, and I just think like that last buy, like we can't be affording to bring anyone from that last buy just because there's just no one there.
I know, yeah. He's got the same buy as the Bulldogs, doesn't he?
Yeah. Bulldogs, Carlton, Richmond, Port, GWS, North, like it's just
you can't bring anyone from that buy. I agree with that. And I feel like after this score, unless you get him this week, you're getting him at like you're paying overs, even though he's a star. The chances of him pumping out another game like that are unlikely. And I've already done it with Noah Anderson that you just can't afford to pay the price for players like that, as good as he is.
Yeah, I think it's one thing for the proven Ubers like your Clary. Like, if he doesn't get injured, he probably overs 120 for the rest of the year. Yeah, Bont. Pay up for them. I didn't. I didn't because I couldn't really afford to.
Yeah.
And I got lucky that he got injured. But, like, Butters is like, you're still picking him to really break out. And I just think it's just too risky. You've seen what happened with LDU. You've seen Noah Anderson starting to crumble. I mean, Sarong's the one that has worked, but I don't think you can pay $620 for Butters.
I agree. Well, it sort of segues to these backline guys. Like it's a tricky spot this week because I didn't want to trade because like Darcy Wilmot's now pumped out. Like he's got that backline roll back, and now all of a sudden he's pumping out really solid scores. And it's like, well, I want to bring in like a Sinclair this week or a Sicily before they get too expensive because Sinclair's still in like 540K, isn't he?
537 for Sinclair and 554 for Sicily. So two guys I jumped on last 3 weeks.
So like Sinclair, this is like perfect time to jump on Sinclair, but it's like, fuck, do I really want to let go of Darcy Wilmot through the buys because like he's just going to be such a handy player. You can field him, and it's like it's just an extra bench, like it's an extra cover spot that like you could. I'm torn what to do there because like. At the end of last week, I was like, all right, I'll move on Wilmot. I'll either move on Baker or Wilmot and downgrade one of them, put one of them up to either Sinclair or Sicily, like, and then still leave me with like good cash in the bank. But it's like, if these rookies are going to get dropped, at least we know Wilmot and Oscar Baker are going to play. Like, there's just no job security with the rookies. And like, while these guys are scoring well, it's like, how can we move on from them when we like, is the guy we replace him with going to be like a Drury or an Angwin who just nothing? Yeah,
that's a good point. You got me thinking a bit because I had Wilmot in my trade plans next week because I could swap him straight to a primo, but like maybe we might need these guys over the next
That's what
weeks.
I mean. So can I. Like I can do the exact same, but it's like if we trade Wilmot, like which of our rookies? Like he's pretty much
got the first buy.
Yeah. Exactly. So, like, and especially come that last week, like, he's going to be so handy.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seems he's got scoring capacity now. Like, he's back to that back pocket role.
Well, if Cincotta doesn't get named this week, is it worth maybe flicking him off?
he's just, what's he at 211k, is he?
218, and he's got a break even of 22.
It's a tricky one. I was hoping they were going to play him as a sub this week. Because did you see like that Matthew Johnson, they played him as a sub?
Yeah, but that would fuck his cash down even more, I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it would, but I was like, fuck, at least. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know anymore what
Yeah.
I thought Chincotta was stiff. Anyway.
I thought he was too. Like, he played 3 really solid games and then 1 bad and is swing the axe.
I know.
And the guy they brought in was fucking terrible. That what's his name? Matthew Boyd or something? Not Matthew Boyd.
Yeah.
Jordan Boyd.
Jordan Boyd. Yeah, Boyd.
Yeah, I think so.
He struggled. Yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe Sincotta gets his spot back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So what are your VCC options this week? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking keep it simple and just go Bon into Laird, like my 2 main mids. I haven't had too deep of a dive. I feel like last week there was a lot of good options that were like clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I had Dacos. I just see on Dacos last week, and it seems like he's getting like even though he can score through the tag and he can still get he's just not having those 150 games. Like don't get me wrong, his last 2 he's had like 100 and 120 when he's been tagged, and it's like he still does that because he takes the kickouts and he's got the roll, but
yeah,
like he just doesn't have that free reign anymore. So I feel like I'm more nervous to have him as a captain option. I think I'll probably VC. Oh, yeah, Bon on the Saturday night into Dawson or Laird on the Sunday.
Yeah, Dawson and Laird are on Sunday against Brisbane at Adelaide Oval, though.
Yeah, I consider Walsh on the Friday night, but probably not. I don't know. Dawson's last 2, I know he hasn't tonned in the last couple, but like his disposal's just been a little bit off. Like once he gets his disposal back, he's still like I feel like a captain option every week.
Yeah, he's one that I'm targeting. Like, I want him, and then I want
You not have Dawson?
Nah, I'm gonna get him for under 600.
Shit, you are. Yeah, I got him for a pretty good price as well. I got him like before. He was pumping it because he had like that week where he had like 3 150s in 4 weeks. I think I got him I got him after the first one, so I didn't pay full price, but I didn't really get a discount.
Yeah, okay, that's still good. You got some massive scores.
Yeah, I got majority of the big scores, but fuck yeah, I think the Dogs are in Darwin this week. Is the climate there a worry? I can't comment.
I don't know. They're in Darwin, are they? Against Gold Coast.
Gold Coast in Darwin, so Wits as well, obviously.
Oh, I mean, I feel like all their Supercoach relevant players that like sort of can play through any conditions, like Libba, Bont, English.
True.
Maybe someone like a Bailey Dale might not do as well. I don't know.
You might have to edit out the Dogs talk to cover me, Hippo.
I know. I might have to do that. What do you think about McRae? Speaking of the Bulldogs, I think he's sitting at about 40% forward time, and I think the cutoff is 30, or the cut is 35%. So it looks like he's almost guaranteed forward status. Is he a must-have, or is he just another one again?
Ballarat McRae is certainly still alive and well. Have a look at his averages at Mars Stadium, and that's all you need to know. That guy loves playing down there.
Mate, the goals he was kicking was unreal.
Yeah. If he gets forward status and he gets sort of a relevant price, I think he's almost a lock.
Well, he's 550k, averaging I think 105.
Yeah, that'd be. Is that top 8 at least for forwards, right?
I'll get it up. It's got to be close if it's not. So averaging 106, yeah, it'll definitely be top 8, definitely.
I reckon I've got about 2 minutes left with you, Hippo. So if you've got any rapid fire questions for me before I depart, hit me.
So you're thinking there's one more thing I was going to say, and I'm trying to think what that was. Is there? So Colin will play North. Is what I was going to say. Yeah. Maybe it's worth bringing in JDG for a 5-goal, 35-touch game.
Wow.
Because he's going to go nuts.
I have got to go in. He's been my pod all year, and I've certainly rode the bumps with him. He delivered a massive win for me against Tubby against Tubby the other week, which was just he took the absolute mick out of the Giants, and he's certainly got the role. And his time on ground's one that's like super interesting. He plays 90% time on ground, like he never goes on the bench.
That is weird.
He's a pod, and I reckon a seriously big score against North. Pies players may be locks this week. Like maybe it's Dake, even though I've just written Dacos on, maybe against North. Like they're not going to tag him, surely.
No, they do have a tagger. They have a serious tagger, and it's that fucking skinhead. What's his name? Bailey Scott, I think.
Oh, Bailey. But he had 130 this week.
Yeah, no, he went off, but he was tagging. That's how he went off. He tagged Sinclair and then someone. But yeah. All right, I think that will do it. Thanks for coming on, obviously.
An absolute pleasure. I will be back. We'll do some more. We'll get some fellow guests on, and we'll have. We have to get Potter and Petter on as well to discuss the hard topics. But it's been a pleasure, and we will chat throughout the week.
Awesome. Thanks.